That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
Holy crap, we're 30 minutes early.
Holy smokes. Some of you are probably freaking out. I'm freaking out, man.
I'm freaking
I
out,
can't believe I'm ready further.
I promise we're going to keep it PG-13.
Yeah.
We're back for Fishing Friday Live. Most people aren't going to jump on right away.
No, it always takes a couple minutes. We're also early, but we got stuff to do tomorrow and tonight. And so we decided to go a little early. And I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, we control it.
Yeah.
It's our show. But we're here for you guys. And speaking about here for you guys, head on over and support those that support us the most. Starting with One Cast Fishing, head on over to onecastfishing.com. Use that code, the OneCast, all one word at checkout, and get your hands on all the gear that One Cast Fishing has to offer. Then while you're online, head on over, see our friends at Carolina Waters, local North Carolina company here, CarolinaWatersNC.com. Use that code, the OneCast, all one word at checkout, and get all that UPF and protective gear that they have to offer. And then use that link, which we sent to a couple people recently, to head on over to Hobie Eyewear, and that link is going to save you 15% at checkout. You can get your hands on all the different frames and lens options that Hobie has to offer. We're huge advocates of their eyewear. We love their floating frames and their new Whole Float series made out of 100% upcycled kayak plastic. So head on over and use that link, save some money. Then when you're on your phone, go to your application store, whatever that may be, whatever system you have, and download that Deep Dive app, pay for that annual subscription, and help break down bodies of water. We've used it last weekend in a tournament and going to continue to use it because it really helps us focus our efforts on where we need to concentrate on the lakes, what bait selections we need to choose from. And really helps you with water level, wind direction, rain, everything that you need to know about the conditions so that you can put more fish in the boat. And then finally, moving to Central North Carolina seems to be a pretty hot topic from everybody from the north, south, east, and west. So Central North Carolina is getting a lot of traction. And if you're going to move here, you need to hit up our good friend and angler himself, Terry Carpenter. You can reach him at carpentert@hpw.com. He's a licensed real estate agent in Central North Carolina with Howard Perry Walston and Caldwell Banker. Terry is going to get you settled in the home that you guys wish to be in, and he knows exactly what you're looking for from the bass angler side of the house or angler side of the house. So see our good friend Uncle Terry and get moved into Central North Carolina.
Yeah, we got to shorten this up.
Yeah.
For Fishing Friday Lives. That took you 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
That's all right. I mean, we're early.
We are early.
We're early, but we're also ending at like 6:30, I think, too.
Or
no,
6:30. How are we ending at
7:30.
6:30 if we start at 6:30?
All
Are
right,
you going back in time, bro?
Hey, thanks for everything, guys. We appreciate it. We're gonna wrap this up right now. No, we got some. We definitely got some stuff to do tomorrow. I'm gonna fish a tournament here in the Virginia North Carolina border. Hopefully, win some money. Pete, you're gonna go support your wife tomorrow. She's gonna run a 5K. That's right.
Yeah, something like that.
She's gonna run a
5K in the morning.
5K in the morning, and then
I'm gonna
do
feed my deer.
Feed your deer.
Yep, get them ready to get killed.
All your pet deer out there.
I mean, ready to get
harvested,
unalived.
Take some dirt naps.
Yeah,
okay.
Freezer. They want to be cold in the winter. They like when you put them
on ice.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's their favorite thing. No, yeah, I'm gonna go do a little workout at our deer lease, and then I wanted to look at that. I meant to earlier. Maybe fish a tournament on Sunday with you.
Yeah, there's the fall the fall time is man, it's a fun time to fish tournaments. I know a lot of guys like to put their boats up and get in the tree stand or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to do any of that this year. I definitely want to focus my attention on fishing. Just learn some of our local lakes a little bit more and some of our regional lakes a little bit more, if you will. So the nice thing about it is the lakes are pretty clear and, you don't have a lot of traffic and stuff like that. And other species turn on too. You know, stripers in certain bodies of water turn on, really fun to fish for, especially up at like Lake Gaston and Kerr Lake and stuff like that. So it's a good time to be out on the water. It's also a good time to be in the woods too, if you like that kind of thing. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Gosh, I ate broccoli earlier and I'm telling you, like, it is not setting well with me, the burps.
There is one there on Sunday.
Is there?
Sunday's the 12th, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's the 10th all day today.
Yeah, dog.
So
$130 at the ramp.
ooh, talking big
Plus you have
money.
to pay $35 to be a member.
Oh
You
yeah.
can pay that tomorrow, so you'll be good.
Yeah, I'll be good for that. So
Yeah, maybe we'll do it.
yeah, we'll see.
Maybe we'll just go up there and catch all the fish so they can't weigh them in.
Run defense.
If you're commenting, I don't know if our comments are working, but eventually we'll catch up. But let's see what's going on. Ultimate Angler's going on. Tucker Smith, who can only catch him scoping according to all the idiots on the internet, is leading, but they got a 6-pound lead and some change.
Mhm.
A chance to win $500,000 just in that tournament. I think we did the math, and he's tournament winnings. If he were to win that one, he'd be right around 700. That was like 692,000 or something for the year. So pretty good year tournament fishing if he's able to pull that off. What's going on, Tim? Hope you're doing well.
What's up, Tim?
What else is going on? Open just wrapped up. There's bass drama with which they put a statement out and it makes exactly why I said they did the no recording. It all comes down to media rights. Don't have my cousin Dylan Freeze on here. I've listened since then. You know, good people. Appreciate that, Trinity.
Dylan Freeze.
Dylan's a good dude.
Yeah.
Good people there.
If y'all don't know Dylan, go back to some of our recorded episodes. We had Dylan on before. He also was on a Fishing Friday Live once or twice with us. He fishes the National Professional Fishing League, but most importantly, he's a family man from Ohio, and he has a really successful private business up there. And he's not afraid to speak his mind, and we appreciate that. You know, like there's too much censorship going on in the world. So appreciate you jumping on here, Trinity. If you see Dylan, tell him we said hey.
Did Seth ever bring you the big box from Buck Mallory from the last MPFL tournament?
Oh my goodness.
Seth kept it.
We are going to have issues, and I'm glad that you said what
I just
you
thought
said.
about it.
Yeah, well,
we're going to raid his house tonight.
Yep, 100%. Tim, he said much better with you boys, and
Trey studio. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is our studio.
Yeah, it's our studio.
In my garage.
In Trey's garage.
But it is an official LLC, so we do have a business address and all that good stuff with great business partners. So Ben is away this evening. He's got family in town, so him and his wife are spending time with their family. So he's not going to jump on here with us. And so Bass Fishing World Ultimate Angler Championship, like you said, that's going on. If you guys haven't followed that, dude, like that is insane. And I didn't really know much about it. I mean, I knew that like there was invitations sent out based on organizations that people fished with and stuff like that. But it's no forward-facing sonar event. Tucker Smith is absolutely smashing them. So I'm sure we'll do a recap of that.
Yeah, you had to pay I think it was a $50 or $500 membership fee.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was based on individual tournament results. So if you finished a certain percentage, I don't know if it was 1 or 1, 2 and something in these multiple different tournament trails, you would get an invite.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the entry fee or anything was, but there's a lot of stuff flying around out there. Nobody really knows how they got the money to pay people.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that it's coming from tax dollars from Eufaula in Alabama, which I mean, somebody made the point like, well, this is probably the smartest thing our tax dollars have been spent on in a century, if that's the case. But I know they did pay some money to have them hold it there, but it's also there at the same time as the ABA championship. So there's like 700 boats running around, but that's a big body of water. But yeah, it's 500,000 to first, 160 to second, like 75 to third. They pay down to 50, I believe, and I think it's 10 grand pretty far down, and then it flips to like 2,500 or something. So everybody in that top 50 will get a little bit of pocket change.
I'll tell you what, and that's the
no forward facing sonar,
which
is kind of cool. They also had limited practice, I think, right? They only had 2 days, something like that, maybe 3.
Yep.
But it was cool. And I've never fished Guntersville. No, it's definitely on the list.
Yeah, it is the Guntersville is probably the most pressured lake and one of the most pressured lakes in the country. And what's so awesome about it is it continues to pump out 4+ pound bass on a consistent basis. And if you guys go back, our buddy Andrew Loberg, who fishes the Elite Series, he's fishing that right now, and he lives on Gunnersville. Not really sure where he's in the standings, but he was really excited about it, and he has all great things to say about Gunnersville, man. Great grass fishery. There's some big spotted bass in there.
It's only 400 miles.
There's smallmouth in there, isn't there?
It's only 400 miles from us.
Oh yeah, we could go down there right now.
8 hours.
Yeah,
Let's
not
roll.
bad. So, but Gunnersville is definitely on a bucket list, for sure. What was the EQ that just wrapped up? That was the second EQ for the season, right?
Yeah, second of 3. Yep.
Gosh, what body of water was that on? Do you remember?
It was on Smith Lake, Wheeler.
Oh, Wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Wheeler Lake. Yeah, Wheeler Lake on the Tennessee. It's a Tennessee River System lake, right? Yeah. So that just wrapped up. And they only got one more for the season, and then they're gonna take the top, I don't know, 9 or 10 out of that, and then those guys are gonna qualify for the Elite Series. Josh Watkins is on here. Josh Watkins, great friend of the show, great friend of ours.
What's up, brother?
Josh is recently retired from the Army. Congratulations, dude. I'll be there in 21 days to be exact. And Josh is fishing the NPFL next year. Oh, look.
There's Seth Ellis
There he
with
is.
a frog emoji. He don't know how to fish frog. He's one of them damn minnow pingers.
Seth, Pete made a great point here.
God.
I think there's a box that our friend Buck Mallory was supposed to drop off to you down at Logan Martin from a certain St. Julian's winery. And I'm not sure we ever got that. So either he dropped it off and you didn't give it to us, or he didn't drop it off. So and
we're going to take his word for it, not yours.
Yeah,
we
so
know
we're gonna hold.
we know how good it is.
We got to
so if
hold
he
somebody
says
accountable.
It was dropped off, Seth. Just know.
I did see something in the back of your truck yesterday, and it said St. Julian on it. So I will be receiving that package. Josh said yes, sir. He said,
yeah, I'm sure he didn't drop. Like you were going to say he did. Oh yeah, I got it for you, bud.
Man,
I told you we're going to ask him, and if he says yes, then
yeah,
you have to pay the consequences.
I will catch no fish tomorrow.
Trey's only bringing one rod.
It's going to be a beetle spin.
That's it.
One beetle spin all day. But yeah, man, what else is going on in the fishing world?
One bass.
One bass, yeah.
One bass. The U.S. Open.
Yep.
Just finished up, and that was who? Spencer Sheffield.
Yep, he won that event, and then Ben Milliken was really close to pulling that off too. So Spencer Sheffield won bass event. Where was that at? Is that Cali?
No, it's in Arizona on
okay.
Lake Mojave.
Okay. Yeah, last year Bryant Smith won it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So
yep.
That just wrapped up. That was a $60-something thousand payday for Spencer Sheffield. So man, big money tournaments going on. And then you got, locally and regionally, you got a lot of the cat tournaments going on and stuff, the fall fishing. Really good time, a lot of top water action, a lot of skipping a jig.
Charity season's about to start.
That's right. Charity season about to start. So speaking of charity season, November 1st, Sharon Harris Lake.
Uno November.
Take a Warrior Fishing. We're hosting the tournament. It's a multi-species tournament on Sharon Harris Lake out of is it Crosspoint or Holloman's this year? It's out of Holloman's again.
Yeah, Holloman's.
So if you guys are a boater in the area and you want to take veterans out, go on to warriorfishing.org, org, right? And you can sign up right there on the website to take a veteran or several veterans, depending on the platform you have, out for a fun day of fishing. I think it's about 4 hours long.
We're super close to our 100 boats.
Super
so come
close.
On with it.
Yeah, we got a lot
We're
of
about to
boats,
make it our biggest one ever.
Yep, it's going to be great. Bunch of prizes, a lot of sponsors, lots of donors and stuff like that.
Lots of giveaways, prizes for winning, all kinds of good stuff.
Yep.
We'll sell some raffle tickets for some prizes. We got some missile bait stuff they donated. I've got several pairs of Hobie eyewear. Thanks, Hobie eyewear. We got all kinds of good stuff. So definitely come check it out. And if you haven't yet, it's a great event. And if you can't fish and you want to volunteer, I'm sure we could use you. Reach out to us. If you go to the website, there's a contact form, or you can DM me directly or DM the page, and we'll get it figured out.
Cole Harris, the Champlain
Harris.
kid. What's
going on tonight? Is it like MPFL night?
Yeah, MPFL is just jumping in on here.
Yeah,
man.
we got
Might as well get
Josh
Brad
Seth
and Paul and
Cole.
Al and Sean and everyone else on the roster. So let's go ahead and send it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we want to talk about then, since all the MPFL dudes decided to jump on?
What do y'all think about the NPFL? What do you think about the schedule next year? I think there's a lot of driving.
I think
I like the schedule.
yeah. I don't know, man. I'm between, it's like, I'm gonna throw out a 2025 thing here.
God, here we go.
It's either mid or it's all right. You know what I mean?
Skibbity toilet.
I think it's Skibbity Riz 6-7 type, whatever. I'm sure Seth is loving that right now.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I like it for the simple fact that, they're going to some pretty good fisheries. Wright Patman, I think, is pretty cool, even though it's a pretty far drive for a lot of guys. But
yeah,
the lake is full of bushes. I like the fact that they're going to a place that doesn't get like major events outside of the Cash and Rod Tour, which is Lake George in New York.
Yeah, some giant bags in that joker.
Yeah, there's some big fish in there, some big lake trout in there. But other than that, like, Lay Lake's kind of like, it's not really that good.
I mean, it's a place that doesn't get gone to a lot.
It's just
I
gone.
think that's what's nice about.
Yeah,
that's what's nice about some of the league schedule is they go to places that they don't go to. Like, not all the big tours go to all the time. So you get to see some different, like Lake George, for instance, or. I mean, I know Lay Lake, didn't they do Red Crest or something there here recently? But still, it's
Lake
not
Norman,
something that's gotten hit
to.
a bunch. They came to Lake Norman, which outside of the open, it hasn't been fished in a long time.
Right.
It's just cool. And I wish they would get Murray on the schedule.
Yeah.
Again, they fished it.
They fished it last year. Yeah, it was their last event.
I think that one would be really fun with no forward facing.
I do too.
Which they do have it for the elite event this year. It was one that came up and the elites actually wish they didn't have it because it doesn't play a huge role there. But we don't think about mass sponsor.
We were going to get there.
Yeah. I mean, Patricia, I'll go right into it. Like,
right, send it.
I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I get where the anglers are coming from. But you sign a contract with Bass, and you have since 1998 signed a contract with Bass that talks explicitly about media rights and broadcast rights and things of that nature. And they hold the right to do that. They expect a certain level of quality for their viewers. They want to provide multiple camera angles, so on and so forth. So one thing they did commit was more cameras for next year in boats. I don't know how many that means. Hopefully another 5 or 6 cameras, get 15 or 16 out there floating around, I think would be a pretty good mix. I get where the anglers are coming from. There's plenty of people that'll go back and watch the tournament after the tournament to watch their favorite angler. And you can shorten that tournament day up when you're not catching. So I think it just needs to be a change in the content approach for the anglers that were live streaming all day. They're gonna have to go do some editing and put some videos together, but they can still record that footage and put out meaningful and useful content. I get why they're upset, and there's a lot of big feelings out there about it. But at the end of the day, it's Bass's show. People pay Bass to broadcast on their networks. They pay Bass to advertise on their networks. And if you've got 7 different dudes out there just running unchecked live streams, sponsoring non-sponsors of the organization, it kind of goes against what you've agreed to. So, yeah, it's a tough situation for those. So, like I said, I think it's just changing content approach. So now you're going to need to do a little editing, throw that tournament video up a week or so after. And you see guys, Livesey and Polynick and I mean, there's more than that. There's Cooper Gallant. They do a bunch of those. They do push them to do social media, but not live stream. They want them to post. They want them to make posts and do things like that. And they can still share a tournament date, just not live during the tournament. Again, I see both sides. I think one of the biggest reason we as fans, and I lump myself into that, and I'm not by any means just blindly defending any organization. I've been critical of them all. We forget that bass, it's not that they don't care about the anglers, but the anglers aren't always going to be their number one priority. Bass is a business, and they need to run it like a business. They need to make money to stay in business. And if their money is threatened by some dudes live streaming, then they're going to shut it down. And I don't know, there could have been conversations from folks that are paying significant money to hold those broadcast rights saying, hey, you need to put an end to this. We're paying, and these people can go consume this for free. Which we all want that free media. And Roku, the Roku Bassmaster channel is free. You don't have to pay for that. So you can actually watch Bass broadcast for free via Bass's network they made with Roku. So difficult situation for the anglers. I know they're upset, but at the end of the day, they've all signed an agreement and agreed to exactly what's happening. And they've signed that agreement. That agreement, I went back and looked, has been in place since the late 90s when like action cameras and stuff first started coming around. Trey?
I have mixed feelings on it, Patricia, and Tim, we'll get to you on the river fishing and baits and stuff like that. But, Ben, Pete, and I were talking about it. I think it was last night or something. We were talking on our internal chat. And I don't fish it. So just my opinion from an outsider's perspective, and I don't know all the fine print with like Bass's like contractual agreements and stuff. I know it's probably pretty long, but anyways, I think when you, outside of the contract that has been since the 1990s, I think the anglers, I think it's a hard position for the anglers because at the end of the day, like while they fish under the organization of Bass, at the same time, they're expected to continue to build their individual brands, which they are, and they are, pushed to do social media and have camera crews follow them around and stuff like that. And I don't know how much traction live streaming was getting, but I definitely believe it probably was taking away from some of the viewership from Bass, like on the Roku channel and stuff like that. But at the same time, I almost think like when you relinquish like entry fees, you relinquish some power. They're not paying, they are paying, but I think it's like a side pot deal or whatever. So when Bass is paying for you to fish now, essentially, then I feel like they have a little bit more control over what happens. But it's a hard business to be in. I can imagine like having to build an individual brand, but also represent a brand that sometimes your brand that you're representing is not a sponsor of.
It's in conflict of it.
There's always going to be a conflict of interest because there's so many competing requirements for so many companies in such really kind of a small industry. What I would like to see them do, if they were going to take away the live streaming, they probably could think of a way like kind of how the MPFL did it with the old fixed TV way, where each angler, like you can subscribe through Bass to view each angler on their boats for the day, right? And that might be an additional revenue stream for Bass. So it's like, hey, you got 104, let's say, in your field. Each 104 of them has a GoPro live streaming, but the only way to really access that is on a subscription basis. So you might get some additional revenue stream for that.
The only way you'll ever see that is they end all advertising deals with other companies. Because if I'm Strike King and I'm paying Bass $300,000 to advertise for the year, I don't want to watch Pete with Bob's Bait and Tackle on the back of his jersey all day. I'm gonna fight that. Whether you're paying a subscription or not, I'm paying you to promote me. So it's a tough deal. And I know everybody wants to compare the two. The MPFL doesn't have the sponsor commitments that Bass has. They don't have the broadcast commitments that Bass has. You can't. I think we often forget that these are legally binding agreements that Bass as an organization has made with Roku and Fox Sports and the other places where they stream. And there are certain things legally that they have to do and maintain. And that's just the nature of the business.
What's up, David?
Wow. I don't think they're taking fans away. They're not limiting sponsor money. I don't agree with that, Patricia, to the anglers, but they are forcing the anglers to rethink their content creation. I'm going to be honest, like me personally, and you all can beat me up for this. I feel like throwing up an 8-hour live stream of a tournament day is just lazy content. I'm much bigger fan of going in, making some edits, cutting out that boring day, putting some voiceovers, talking about what you're doing, why you're doing it. You have the opportunity to make a production and actually learn from that rather than watching a dude fish for 8 hours and maybe talk to his camera. Again, it's a tough thing. I just, lots of us watch MPFL on Fix. I mean, it wasn't, I don't know if I agree with that either, Patricia. But maybe not as many folks. I think you're right. There's probably more now that they're back on the YouTube stream and the Facebook stream, but there were certainly a lot of folks that watched on Fix too. But to your point, it's now to a broader audience. But again, they don't have a broadcast deal with anybody. They don't have heavy advertising deals with folks that they're having to put commercials up and promising so much airtime per event for their product or their brand. So that's where it really gets hard in Bass's, and maybe that's something they explore, right? Maybe you explore ending some of those broadcast deals. Look at, hey, what if I live streamed 103 anglers videos on YouTube
and
monetized it? Here's the issue with that. Bass is going to take the money from every single one of those anglers and decide how much they're going to give to those anglers. Because at that point they're controlling where the live stream is located, how it's advertised to or pushed out, the advertising dollars in it, all that money is going to come to them. And then what? Do they disseminate it evenly? If they make $100,000, do they divide that amongst the 103 anglers plus their cut? It just makes it a little bit sloppy. So I don't know if I'm on a soapbox, David. I'm just trying to take up for why a business decision was made by Bass. Now, I absolutely am sympathetic that it sucks for some of these anglers. I don't know if I agree with some of the numbers they're sharing, because if you've ever put out a YouTube video, I can share numbers of YouTube views that we have on the one cast and tell you a couple 100,000 on some videos. Some of those are 1.5 second views.
Yes.
That's somebody that just, as you're scrolling through, accidentally clicks on it. And they're like, oh, I didn't want that. And they scroll up. That stuff happens, right? So yeah, I can come out and say 40,000 new people saw me because they watched my live stream. All right. Share the actual breakdown of how long those people were watching your live stream. Show me the retention on those folks. Was that truly folks that you were reaching and were watching and learning the sport, or was those click throughs where they just came across it and they took a look at it? So it's a tough thing all the way around. Again, I honestly believe that Bass's hands were tied to some extent because of broadcast media deals that they have, including the advertising deals. You just can't let people run free and provide that content when people are paying you to do it.
I wonder if there's a way around it that are, I've
got a couple ideas of how I think you can get around.
So I mean, I'm not
going to put them out there because I don't want to, in case Bass sees it, I don't want to limit any of the creative approaches that the anglers may take, but there's always a way, right?
There's always
a loophole. Yeah. And I think we'll still see some of that content. I really appreciate you bringing it up, Patricia. That it's good to talk about these things, right? And again, I'm not just blindly defending Bass. I'm looking at it from a business standpoint, kind of where they are. 8 hours a day times 4 days. Yeah, I mean, I can claim that. Show me the actual breakdown of that data, Patricia, from Zaldane. Like, I want to see the actual. I want them to provide the actual printout of that. And I want them to prove that it's not bots, because I can pay to have as many bots as I want. For $10, I can have 1,000 people join our Schiller Live every week.
And it happens all the time.
And it happens with a lot of these folks all the time, because it helps to monetize your podcast. But at the end of the day, it's not actually doing anything. So, and I'm not saying Chris is lying about his numbers by any means. I'm not saying that. But I've got to see the data. And if he can prove that, that's awesome. But still don't matter. It still doesn't matter. The organization still holds the broadcast rights, and he signed a contract as an independent contractor. That's basically what you are as an angler. You're an independent contractor for that organization. And you've signed a contract agreeing to those terms, and all they're doing is enforcing it. So maybe much like we saw with the change to forward facing rules this year, maybe this angler, what do they call it? The angler
It's like
something board.
Yeah, ABP or something.
Yeah,
like
maybe
that.
they're able to go to Bass and say, hey, look, here's some data we have from the guys that were live streaming. We think this is beneficial to us and you. This is why. And maybe they can get them to roll back on that rule. You know, that I don't think they're hard. I think Bass proved last year, and I don't agree with how quick they rolled on some of the changes because the anglers were mad. But I also think that they proved that they're willing to listen to their anglers. We saw it with the information rule. How long that thing was a rule for like 7 minutes.
7.
And all the anglers raised up, voiced their concerns, sent emails. That rule went away, right? They spent a year talking about forward-facing sonar. Bass went and actually looked at the data they could from past tournaments and saw, you know what? These guys aren't just saying this is affecting the way we're fishing. It actually is. We have spawn events where guys should be on the bank and half the field's out staring at a screen, and it takes away from some of that viewer interaction, things like that. So they made a change. So I think they're open to it. Going on Twitter and ranting and raving or Facebook, I don't think is a way for the anglers to get that's just trying to get the people worked up, which I'm sure they've done a good job of. But, you know, I hope they can reach some kind of compromise. I'm not going to sit there and watch any Elite Series anglers back for 8 hours while they're fishing. Just not going to do it.
I think the proof would be in the pudding for the anglers. This is the last thing I'll say on it, and then we'll move on to. And then this is a great conversation. Patricia, like Pete said, thank you very much for bringing this up. But if the anglers can show collectively that there has been a monetary value, a decrease in monetary value to their individual brands, and bring that up in a manner that says, look, like, I understand there may be contractual conflicts, but at the end of the day, like, we're losing money because of this. That may be able to stimulate like a logical conversation with the ownership group and whoever makes the decisions there. But they should take that through their ABP, which they voted on to have, even though some of them may not have requalified for the Elite. So that's going to change next year. So there definitely is an argument there. They just got to show it. She says, I really don't care either way. Bass goes. As a fan, I really liked watching on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Logan has been on the show. Great guy. I hate that he's not going to be able to do it. But I also, from a business standpoint, see why Bass made the change. So we'll just see what happens.
Yep.
You know, and that's all we can do. So as a fan, I watch what I'm going to watch. I watch a little bit of everything, mostly just the weigh-ins, because to be honest, after I turned 16, I thought fishing was one of the more boring things to actually watch on TV, like tournament bass fishing. I really quit watching tournament bass fishing religiously when they got away from the production like Bass used to do. When it was the Bassmasters and it was a couple hours in the morning, and then they would come back later with the weigh-in and they built the story and the drama, and you didn't know exactly what was going on minute by minute. Now I don't need to watch it. I can go do what I want to do, and I just check Bass Track throughout the day and see how everybody's doing, and watch the weigh-in at the end of the day and see who the biggest sandbaggers are. So, but for consumers, if you like to sit down and watch the full tournament day, I can understand more frustration. But let's go. Tim said, Trey, Pete, any baits or techniques you wanted to work on this season? For some reason you didn't. P.S. Pete obviously has enough baits in that man cave. Yeah, I got a few in there. It's the same one I've wanted to work on for the last 4 years, and it's the Carolina rig. Was going to throw it more. Threw it one time, caught a fish on my third cast, put it up, never threw it again the rest of the year.
That's a fact. I can attest to that. It's funny because you caught a fish on it.
I did the same thing last year.
Yeah,
I picked it up, I threw it about 5 times, caught a fish, and then put it away and didn't throw it the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's a lie. I threw it twice last year because I threw it in one of our tournaments and caught a big fish on it.
So I guess for me, I'll say one technique that I really did work on this year was a chatterbait or a bladed jig. And
you did say you were going to.
And I did say
you followed through.
I followed through with that. I've been saying it was a bait that I just don't have a lot of confidence in. And so, you know, when I took that trip up to Michigan, you know, we got a lot of grass lakes in Michigan. Everything has grass in it. And I really put that bladed jig to work. I found out what I liked, what I don't like, what I like for trailers, what I don't like for trailers, my retrieve method, my line size and stuff like that. Brought that technique back down to North Carolina and, you know, fished it in some tournaments, fished it with Pete, fished it with Seth. and had success on it. And so it's definitely
I think
more of a confidence bait.
I think Gasson again this year when I was mashing him on the chatterbait, and you ended up catching one or two, but
Yep.
I think that one really lit you. And then when you
Yep.
went to Michigan, you threw it like the entire time. And then since you came back, you've gone out and mangled it. I told you it was good around stumps.
Yeah,
and stuff,
and you know, one of the things I learned about that bait specifically is like you can throw that thing on 20-pound test, man. Like I used to throw, like I still throw like my spinner baits on 15, but I've upped my line size to 20-pound.
Yep.
With a 1/2 ounce bladed jig, and I've really come to like it. A technique I have not worked on, and I still to this day have not caught a fish on, is a glide bait.
Yep.
It is a technique that is very specific to certain circumstances, but absolutely catches big fish. We are right now in and moving into the better glide bait portion of the year.
Yep.
So spring and fall. So rest assured throughout this these next few months, I'm going to be locking a glide bait in my hand on certain lakes.
Winter too is also really
good. And throwing them around docks. So hopefully that answers your question, Tim. I also agree with Tim. I would like to see some more rivers in some of these schedules. I know Bass is going to the Arkansas River this year. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see that one. You know, a lot of these places have rivers, by the way, like that, you know, are connected to the lakes and stuff. So don't discount that for a minute. And Bass is also coming back to the Pasquotank River.
Yep.
And the BPT fished the, you know, Potomac and I think they fished the Potomac. So there's been quite a few river systems. I'd like to see them come to the Pamlico Sound. I mean, they fish the Sabine River. So there's been a lot of rivers and stuff like that, but Mississippi River, a lot of river fishing. But yeah, I love the river fishing stuff, man. Like that's really like it's just that good old fashioned, can be, if there's no forward facing sonar, that good old fashioned top water flipping, crank baiting, you know, all those kind of bites that we like to get. So Bassmaster should be getting that 150,000 first place to match BPT. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the payouts in bass fishing really aren't that good.
No, they
like,
suck.
The Ultimate Angler Challenge that's going on right now that Pete and I talked about at the very beginning, like that's like legit payouts. But here's the thing. No one will ever come back to the Delaware River. Don't say never. They very well could go
even
back
if you win a BPT event and win $150,000, you're still negative on the year.
Well, yeah, it's $6,400 for entry fees, isn't it?
Yep.
And then travel and lodging. But again, you know, depending on the sponsorship you have. But if you think about it, like, you know, we had this discussion with a buddy of ours. I won't name his name. You know, there's guys that believe in that, you know, the top 50 in the field need to get paid. And then there's guys that think like, dude, this should be limited to the top 10. You know, if it was limited to the top 10, your payouts would increase significantly and the winners would have a shot at $300,000 or $500,000 or something like that. But that's not going to be the case when there's not enough money coming in for large scale endorsement contracts and stuff like that. If you're paying all of your money down to 50% of the field, the math just doesn't work out to where you can have that $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 payday for each tournament for the first place winner. I just don't know. And we talked about this before. Yeah. Like, you know, I get it for the guys that are trying to cash check and get contingency money and all that stuff, but
bass fishing's done it to itself, right? Like,
yeah,
dudes used to show up and fish a tournament on the weekend and then go back to their day job. At some point, we decided we wanted to make it a career. And we started rewarding mediocrity so guys could have a career. And it's just stuck, right? They used to pay $10,000 through 50th place. Like, what does that do? I can go out and throw a Cinco and catch 5 for 9 pounds in pretty much every derby and cash a check. Not now. I mean, not used to be able to do that. Like, I don't know. It just takes away from rewarding success more significantly. If you took that and only paid the top 10, now you're talking about guys being able to make some money. And I know those wins and those top 10s
hard
are
to come
few
by.
and far between, right? They're hard to come by, and they're going to be even harder to come by if you got to be in that top percent to get a check, right? Like guys are going to be driven. I feel like we rewarded mediocrity for so long. And they do it in local tournament trails too. I'm not saying anything. Like some of these trails will pay, like they'll have 12 boats and pay 7 places. Like you're rewarding being okay. Exactly. Participation trophies is all that mind. That's exactly how I look at it. Like, yeah, I showed up and caught 15 bass for, 20 pounds and was the 50th best out of 100. I was literally barely in the top 50% of the field, and I made $10,000. I don't know. To me, like I struggle with that. And I'm used to a lot of our tournaments pay 3 places up to 50 boats, and then they might add a few additional. So you've got to be there if you're going to cash a check or make money. It's just, and I know we got a lot of friends that fish, man, and I appreciate you, and I love the fact that you're chasing the dream and it's what you want to do. But I've said it before. We got to stop looking at it like a sport. Unless they're paying a base salary to every angler, and then you can win on top of that, you're just a weekend angler on a bigger stage. I mean, and you're the best in the world. Those dudes are the best in the world. They're way better than I'll ever be. And better than anybody I know. And we fish against some of those guys that are right there. They're way better anglers than I'll ever be. But I struggle with the whole like paying more places and then complaining about payouts because there's only so much money coming in.
Yeah, when you look at it, like so contingency money means a lot to these guys, right? When you have a certain boat brand within a certain year, a certain truck brand, stuff like that, like these guys can actually make a little bit of money off contingencies. Bass Cat has great contingency money if you're in the top whatever out of a sanctioned event that's approved by Bass Cat and so on and so forth.
Well, typically in those events, you just have to be the highest finishing with that particular model in those particular years. Same with Toyota.
Right.
Like you can fish 100 boat tournament and finish 99s, but if you're the only dude towing with a Toyota that falls in that's in the program, you're going to make $2,500.
But when you look at the payouts and they go down, to 50th place and like, they're like $2,500. I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't make any money. I mean, unless everything is 100% paid for, you might make some money back. But I agree with you from the aspect of like, if I'm just, we've had several professional anglers on here talk about it. Like, dude, the days of me having the mindset of like just showing up to cash a check, like that is the wrong mindset. Like I used to show up for that. Now you got to show up with it. I'm going to win. Like I need to win. Right. And that might light a fire under certain anglers' butts, but at the end of the day, they're not paying you to put yourself out there and accept risk. You chose to do that. You're putting yourself out there.
That's where the whole thing gets so weird in bass fishing because you're paying to do something that you choose to do. They're not paying you to do something they're telling you to do.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they're doing is controlling how you do it because you're fishing their organization. So you're a subcontractor following the rules of the employer, but you're self-employed, but not making any money because the organization isn't paying you to be employed by them. You're trying to win your own money plus your buddies and maybe not buddies' money. It's a very weird thing.
It's an addiction.
And yeah, Cody, some of this was from the Bassmaster Live thing. I talked about just go back. This will be up on Facebook and all that. Go back and listen. I understand why they did it. It sucks for the anglers, and we'll leave it at that. There was a whole probably 20-minute day, as David Fuchs said, I got on a soapbox, but I was just looking at it from Bass's point of view on why the business decision on their side was made, but I also understand how it's not good for the anglers. So go back and check that out and let us know your thoughts, man.
This won't be the last bit of change we see.
There's going to be more.
There'll be more changes.
And they may roll this back before the season starts.
You never know. They could reverse the decision. These leagues, I think, whether we don't control what they do, but from Major League Fishing, and they made changes recently all the way down to the Bass Fishing League, the Phoenix. BFL.
I mean, they might have killed there are a lot of people.
There's a lot
that are not happy at the BFL level.
Yeah.
Right.
So Appreciate
that, David. Yeah, I mean, so if you don't know, BFL's lowered entry fees, raised payouts, but they have gone to a 3-hour limit on forward-facing sonar and 360 sonar. So you can only use it for 3 hours of a tournament day. No idea how they're going to police that. Some co-anglers are saying it's great. Others are hating it because some co-anglers point out the fact that if the guy only knows how to find fish with forward-facing sonar, now you're not around fish as a co-angler, so you're not catching anything because you're not even around fish. But
can't make anybody happy.
You can't make anybody happy. You can't make anybody happy. My biggest thing is how do you police that?
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to create some sort of device or something.
And that's the rumor floating around the internet was they created a GPS tracked lock that also provides a timer for when the lock is engaged and disengaged.
Yep.
So you could track that it was on for that 5 of the 8 hours of a tournament day.
Yep.
I don't know if that's true. That's a rumor out there. I don't know how you control it. Do the co-anglers now become marshals?
I don't know.
Are you expected to police your
puts
boater?
That puts you in a pickle.
Hey man, I'm on forward facing. I'm gonna win $100,000 if I win this. Just let me run it, and I'll give you 25%.
I don't know.
You gonna turn me in if I offer you $25,000? Just keep your mouth shut. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
dudes will do
anything
to win a trophy and some money in fishing. There's a lot of dudes that will.
Guys that preach following the rules and then they break the information rule.
Yeah. Guys talk about how forward facing cheating and then they actually cheat.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think these organizations are just doing whatever they need to do to increase
What's up, Jeff?
Increase participation. We all know that the participation in the BFL level was down significantly because of what people said. Oh, forward facing sonar. I'm tired of fishing in a boat with forward-facing sonar. I mean, even high-level anglers that used to fish the Bassmaster Opens as co-anglers, they obviously did away with them. But like getting stuck behind somebody who's scoping for 8 hours, like that's a tough pill to swallow, man. It's hard to catch fish that.
I got to be completely honest. I have to be completely honest. Like with the accessibility to tournament fishing, kayak fishing taking off, you can get into that for pretty cheap. I think it's time to kill the co-angler in these higher
figuratively.
I think it's time to do away with the co-angler, right? Like, why is a co-angler dictating rules in a tournament where I'm paid $100,000 for my boat? I pay for my boat insurance, I pay for the fuel, I pay for the maintenance, I paid for all the tech, I spent all the time to find the fish. Co-angler shows up on Saturday and fishes for a check.
I've said that.
I know, and I saw the utility in the co-angler, and I saw why it was important. But once you get to a level where you're paying to fish a BFL, Toyota, all the way from, I would say, from the BFLs up in MLF, and they've already done it in the Opens, like Bass Nation, your local clubs, absolutely great place for a co-angler, right? I don't think there's a utility there anymore. And I would agree with you, Cody, but I mean, talking to dudes and knowing guys that have fished on both sides, you're talking about like maybe one a year where a co-angler would actually speak up and say that I think my boater did something wrong. So they weren't serving that purpose because they don't want to get that reputation. Because as soon as I turn Trey in, Trey goes and tells all the boaters, hey, watch this dude. And then all of a sudden I'm treated like a piece of trash and I don't even want to show up and fish anymore.
And you would think everybody would be professional enough, but that we all know that that's not the case. And look,
and I'm with you, Jeff. Right is right and wrong is wrong. You're getting turned in, but not everybody will do that.
We got friends. One of the perfect examples of how challenging the co-angler side can be, not from bad co-anglers or anything like that, is the Toyota series, man. You have to create a link with a co-angler to get a spot in the Toyota tournament. Let's just say 100 boats show up and only 95 co-anglers show up. Sometimes those 5 anglers that don't have a co can't fish. And then the other way that they do it is they'll pair one of those boaters with another boater to be a co-angler because those co-anglers are expected to marshal that event. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I think they stopped that after that 1 year where they tried it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you.
So I think now they're sending them without codes if they don't have enough.
Well, okay, well, if
But they did do that for a year
Yeah,
because
I mean-
Randy Blockett got stuck as a co with somebody. And so it went to that level, like in a Toyota series. And he was the one that actually, and as much as I can't stand Randy, he shed light. And then we talked to Mike Johns, who said, yeah, if you don't link, like they're going to stick another boater with you.
Yep. Or
But-
you're not going to be able to fish.
But I think participation got low, and that was part of the reason. And they kind of rolled back on that. Yeah, they do live by that snitches get stitches mentality. I'm with you, Jeff. Like I would turn somebody in if they weren't fishing and doing the right thing, but not everybody's going to do that. And if I'm offering you $25,000 to keep your mouth shut, because I'm going to win 100, I might, there's plenty of people that'll go, shoot, $25,000
Sounds pretty good.
sounds pretty dang good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I have higher morals than that, but there's plenty of people that would take that 25,000. So, yeah, it's the off season's always interesting in fishing. There's always,
It's actually like a little bit more.
I think it's more interesting.
It's more interesting
than actual fishing
because what happens during the tournament season?
People win, people
post-tournament
lose,
recaps,
somebody
right?
gets DQ'd. Like you don't get all these rule change drama and all that. Kayak and school fishing has been more impactful to killing the co-angler. I think kayak fishing has definitely had an impact to co-anglers because now I don't need. I mean, even let's be honest, an entry level older bass boat with a good running motor that'll get me out there. I'm looking at 15,000 fully rigged out, right? Somewhere around there. Let's just say that I can get a pretty good kayak with forward facing sonar and a trolling motor on it for about $3,500 used, right? Like what now I make the decisions. Entry fees are lower, payouts are higher.
Yeah.
There's less cheating in kayak fishing. Now there was just an instance this past week, but they caught it immediately, DQ'd the guy, and they've actually are making changes to the app that was being used because they found a way that they were manipulating it. So like, okay, we found a back door, we're going to close it. That community in general seems to be more willing to help one another. Look, bass boat tournament anglers were some of the worst. Like we're pretty good. I think you can tell me if I'm wrong, but there are plenty of those dudes that aren't telling you anything. It could be. I don't know. I had a 1992 fiberglass boat that was probably more dependable than my 2001 or 2021 boat. Just that older stuff ran. If you kept up with it, there wasn't a whole lot more maintenance. But to your point, Cody, yeah, I mean that kayak's going to be cheaper. Your entry fees are going to be lower. Your decision making,
your maintenance
is going to be cheaper. So
you can't carry
the cost to entry, the what's the word I'm looking for? The barrier to entry, which is cost in a lot of those cases, as a boater, has now been significantly reduced to the point where most people that are working 40 hours a week can afford to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I personally think that's been the biggest impact on the co-angler side of things.
And you
in tandem with forward-facing sonar, because there are plenty of people that quit co-angling because of forward-facing sonar.
Yeah, 100%. Our kayak trailer's built better than
we're definitely built better than one specific brand. It's Cole Harris, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like you talked to our friend Abby Abadanza. He just won AOY for Bassmaster, right? You talked to Corey Dreyer and Casey Reed and all the kayak anglers, Christine Fisher. Like,
yes, you do, Jeff.
Man, those folks are making really good money for what they're spending, right? The ROI is so much more in kayak fishing. Now I'm not going to do it, right? I'm just not going to, after being a boater. And I know boaters that do both. Boaters do kayak tournaments and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But really at the end of the day, if you're one of those co-anglers that stopped fishing because you were tired of getting backboated with scope, or you were tired of getting treated like crap if you had a boater because there are boaters that treat you like crap, man, jump into the kayak game. It's growing exponentially.
Yeah.
And there's so many opportunities to fish vastly different water systems than what you traditionally see with bass boats. And there's good money to be made in it. So
David asked, what's your opinion on the angler charged with manslaughter? My opinion is that dude's needs to be put away for a while. And I say that after having seen the video that was released of the incident. There's no excuse for what happened. He was 100% at fault. And he's gonna get hammered with everything they get hammered with. There's no way you defend what came out in that video. So yeah, that's my opinion on it, David. I think they had to charge him. It was questionable about the charges until you saw the video. Once the video dropped, which was dropped by the sheriff's office, probably to quell any outrage about why are you trying to hammer this young man, that young man negligently took people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, that situation is no different than somebody texting and driving, somebody drinking and driving. You know, that was a completely impaired, negligent decision. Yep. Obviously, he's going to go in front of a jury and be tried, amongst his peers, and he's going to get go through the judicial system as he should. But as a outside, and that's why I can never serve on a jury, because I'm instantly biased towards the entire situation. Like, from the video, as long as it's not artificially intelligence, like doctored, which I don't think it is.
No, that video was released by the sheriff's office. Yeah. That was the official document.
I just don't trust anything anymore.
I know, but that was turned in by the angler from so there was more backstory given. That was off of his SD card, recorded on his GoPro, so it couldn't have been manipulated.
But nevertheless, like, the video, the proof is in the pudding with that one. Like, that just was completely avoidable. David, to your point on the speed limits and derbies, speed limits would be hard to police, but horsepower regulation would be easier to police. Now, I don't like policing, and I don't like encroachment from higher level organizations on what I would consider like my rights. But when you're fishing under an organization's like insurance and in their name, they absolutely can make organizational changes to reduce that. But I mean, that dude could have hit them at 50 miles an hour and still had the same results than he would at 70. I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, we're all adults. We should be paying attention. It's no different than driving down the highway. It's no different than being well-trained with firearm manipulation. It's no different than anything. It just was negligence. In my opinion, it was negligence. And it happens more. I think it's always happened, but I think it's happened way more with the introduction of how many electronics people have on their boat, how they can be impaired while driving because they have 27,000-inch screens and they're constantly looking at their map so they don't hit something. Like, man, it's just, okay, so that's on you. Slow down. Don't go that fast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
I think they need to do horsepower restrictions. They need to go to a 150. You're going to keep everybody around that low 60. There's a big difference on the water between 60 miles an hour and 70 to 80 miles an hour. There's no need to go that fast to catch bass. I don't care what anybody says. We can look at different things on these bigger lakes, like allowing you to launch at different launches, lines, end times. It's worked for other organizations without issues. You got to do something. You can't. I know Trey says we're all adults, but most of these guys are barely old enough to drive, and they're running around in 200 boat tournaments at 75 miles an hour in bass boats, right? They don't have experience. They just don't have the experience. They don't have the knowledge. They haven't seen what can happen. No, you don't even need a 21-foot boat if you're going to a 150. What do you need a 21-foot boat for? I've won plenty of money. Trey and I have done plenty fine in tournaments out of 19-foot boats with 150s. There's absolutely no reason.
Keith Poche is a perfect example.
Keith Poche has won
115 on his
with a 115 on a 17.5-foot aluminum boat that weighs 922 pounds because those things are built like Abrams tanks. You don't need a 21-foot boat. I grew up fishing Lake Erie and was out there on the lake catching smallmouth bass out of a 16.5-foot with a 9.9 on it. It was hairy. Wasn't safe. Would have been a lot safer with a 75, but I did what you had to do. It would absolutely help with the jet skis and wake boats. I mean, when you get wake boats and you're hitting wake boat wakes that are rolling across the lake and you're running 75 and guys are airborne, and I got thrown out of a boat. Yeah, my dad just said we won money in a 16-foot with a 9.9. We won plenty of money in that joker, right? Like, You don't need to go, is it fun? Oh, it's fun. Like it is fun screaming across the water in the morning at 70, 75 miles an hour. It is awesome. But is it the right and the safe thing to do, not only for the safety of us participating, but for the general public? We just had a dang kid get killed on Sharon Harris by a wakeboarder. Now they were drunk. Impaired is impaired, whether it's staring at a graph or under the influence of something, right? Like blazing down the lake into and not paying attention, ran into the swim area and ran over two people, killed one and injured one.
Totally avoidable.
Totally avoidable, right? Like they shouldn't have been drinking, but that could have easily been a dude on a bass boat staring at a screen, right? Like looking at his map, trying to figure out where he wanted to go next. It's opened my eyes because I've done it, running down the lake and you're scrolling out on a map. Where's that waypoint? I want to run in that creek. Where exactly is it? And you're like, oh man, I'm not even paying attention. We've all done it. Don't even try to tell me you've never looked at your phone when you're driving down the road. And all of a sudden you're like, man, I went 15 miles and I haven't even looked at the road. How did I not? Like everybody's done it, but we got to make a conscious effort to do that. And you got to control what you can control, and the organization can control it, limiting. Look, man, our heroes fished at 14.5 foot fiberglass boats with a 50 horse at the most on them and fished all over the dang country on the same lakes we're fishing
remember
today.
seeing all those old Rangers?
Yeah, fishing on the same lakes we fish today. They did it, right? Like they didn't have to run 70 mile an hour, 75, 80, 85. It's just to me, it's not necessary. So as the organizations are going to have to be the ones, because we're not going to as boaters. I mean, I like the boat I fish out of, so I do it to myself. But if I'm running a 21-foot boat with a 250, I'm not just going to oh man, that guy hurt somebody or killed somebody, so I'm going to go sell this and buy a boat with a 150. There's elite guys and BPT guys coming out saying, I think it's time we go to like a 150, 175 restriction. Do we really need these great big giant heavy boats running 75 miles an hour down the lake?
A lot of money too.
Yeah. What are we really accomplishing by that? I get to a fishing spot 3 minutes ahead of somebody else.
Yeah.
3 minutes makes a difference. I don't know, but that on that kid, and I'm not going to say his name, that young angler, that guy's doing some jail time. There's no way around it. When you watch the video, he negligently killed three people in a boat because he wasn't paying attention, and it sucks for him. It's something he's going to have to deal with. His family's going to have to deal with. The families of lost loved ones are going to have to deal with. Everybody lost in that deal. Everybody. No, there was no winners. Nobody's coming out on top. Just sucks all the way around. But
yeah, my last comment on that, and I've said it before, is not only from the anglers taking responsibility and the organizations making it as safe as possible for the anglers and for the general public, but the fact is these states and these areas that these organizations go to pay them a significant amount of money to go there. Right. So the host municipality or the host city or whatever, if anglers are acting a fool and organizations aren't policing it, they're not going to invite them back.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got to have the support of the community.
Exactly.
You're bringing 200 anglers or 100 anglers into their town.
So act responsibly. Right.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken. Good to see you, Kenneth.
First Sergeant. What's up? First
Sergeant retired. Kenneth Will.
Oh, it's Master Sergeant, isn't it?
Was it Master Sergeant?
Oh, Master Sergeant.
Wells. Oh, Ken's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
No, man, this has been great conversation, y'all, and yeah, I really appreciate everybody. We'll hang out for a couple more minutes if you have any questions, mostly because I don't have any internet at my house yet, and that means there's literally nothing to do at my house because we have no phone service there, so I can't even play a game on my phone.
You can play a board game
by myself.
You can read a book.
Chelsea's at a play.
You can read a book. You could play with the dogs.
Could read a book.
You could organize tackle. There's so many options. He still has
the same pay.
That's not true. There's additional pays now, but you're 7 years removed from it, so you're welcome. I'm also not getting paid it either. No, I am still getting paid it.
Well, you're not getting paid right now.
I'm not getting paid right now. The government is shut down, shutty downy. And so those on active duty, I don't believe are going to get a 15th of the month paycheck.
Yeah, you're not getting a check.
Which kind of is poopy. We'll get back paid whenever they decide to open the government back up. But you know, it is what it is.
Chickens.
They're not my chickens, Christine. They're totally
feeding the chickens meant something completely different when I was a teenager.
Yeah, Dave said you can read a Bass magazine. I got a whole stack of them right here.
Yeah, I got them at the house. Or I could not do any of those things.
You can go night-night.
I could just go to sleep.
You can go night-night.
Yeah. Got third place in Wednesday tournament, 3 fish, 8 pounds. There you go.
Where are we all fishing, Jeff?
Where'd you fish, Jeff?
I'm gonna say Tillery.
It's too cold to go night fishing, man.
Time to go. Well, it's good. Well, it's not too cold. You can bundle
It's
up
too
and go
cold.
catfishing.
It's not as good at night once it gets cold like this.
I feel like you can go at least catch a catfish, mama.
Probably could. Yeah, probably could.
Yeah, man. Well,
It's supposed to rain though. Like, it doesn't sound fun. Cold and rain.
yeah, that's good stuff.
I was gonna go tomorrow. I got some other stuff I got to do. I might go Sunday.
Yeah.
Is it still supposed to rain? Let's look real quick. Not tomorrow, but it's definitely gonna rain on Sunday.
Is
so
it?
I guess I'm barbecuing and watching football.
Oh yeah, that's good. That watch some football. Oh, Jeff set Jordan.
Jordan 3 for 8.
Oof. Jordan's one of those like hit or miss lakes. I mean, you can have 8, 9, 10 pounds and catch a check, or you got to have 20, 22, 23 pounds to catch a check.
Yeah, somebody asked me about Greg. My buddy Greg asked me last night. He was like, I need to get out and do some electronic stuff. I'm like, let's do it, man. We'll set something up. I was like, he was like, where'd you catch those fish? Could I post some pictures from last week? And I was like, oh, that was on another lake. I'm not going to say because I don't want y'all going there because it's too much fun right now. Just kidding. It was on Gaston. And it's not everywhere on Gaston, so you got to find them.
It's definitely not.
Definitely not everywhere on Gaston. And I was like, Gaston, I was like, I haven't been on Jordan or Harris since I haven't been on Jordan since April, and I haven't been on Harris since we fished that tournament in August. I was like, they're both fishing poopy. And he said it took 29 pounds to win on Jordan the other day. I was like, yeah, did you look at the weights down the line?
Yeah.
I said, and also those dudes were probably scoping brush piles and got 5 bites the entire day.
I'm here to tell
I'm not going to do that.
I was there. I was substituting for a buddy of ours that needed somebody to jump in the boat with him, and I think he came in. I'm gonna say he because I showed up late and I left early, but we got on some fish and we put almost 16 pounds in the boat. Where we were fishing was 25 pounds plus worthy, and he ended up dumping like a 6-pounder, and I lost another big one. And that would have been a 22, 23 pound day for sure, at least. But it is absolutely area specific, like spot specific.
It's grimy right now.
It's grimy, dude.
You got to scope deep.
You got to scope in that 10 to 12 foot mark. And I'm sure you can definitely catch some on the bank.
Catch them shallow. Yeah.
It's just hard to find really big ones.
You're not
that lake
until that transition is done and they're actually up feeding, you're not catching 29 pounds on the bank right now. It's just not happening.
But when they are up on the bank and they're feeding, you're also not going to catch probably 29 pounds all day long.
It's tougher. You can you're still, I mean, a good bag once that happens is on that lake's like 23 to 25. You'll start seeing more of those bags, and you'll see that's when you start seeing it take 23 to get into the top 10. It'll be like 25, 13, 25, 11, 24. When those fish really get up on the flats and stuff, they just aren't there yet on that lake. It's weird,
but
it's getting close.
This cold weather, it's chilly in here right now.
It's getting close.
It's getting close. So
at Jordan, I love fishing.
Lock a lipless in your hand. Put a big old jig in your hand.
Nah, don't fish a lipless.
Get some. Keep that buzz bait in your hand and that popper, like you talked about, Jeff, and fish as many laydowns.
I think I have a new favorite fall bait though.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I'm not talking about it. I got to do some more research.
David said he saw a 51.54 pound bag with a 5 fish and a 12 pound.
Oh, those dudes fish a lake in Texas. I saw it too.
Those. Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I've never even caught a 30 pound bag of fish in my entire life. Never even caught 25. Actually,
Cole Harris, I missed your comment, but I fully agree. He said bass fishing needs to change to gain more money, sponsors, and fans.
Yep.
Racing, fist fights, and boat flips.
Dude, Ben's saying it.
We got to shut the lake down if we're going to race, though, because bass anglers have clearly proven
Cole knows he's going to win, though. He's going to rip that bass cat around going 99 miles an hour.
After we just talked about not doing that. Anyway,
what's up, Frank?
What's up, Frank? Yeah, that 51.54 was I can't remember. I was gonna look real quick. I follow the dude that caught it. They caught it in it's in Texas. It's a lake, and it's a super nasty lake. Like it is always chocolate milk, so it doesn't get a lot of pressure. And he's figured out a scope and bite with swim jigs where he basically hits them in the head with them and they eat it.
Oh no,
it looks pretty fun to do.
It'll get ruined eventually.
I don't think it will, man. He's been posting for years catching 40-pound bags, and it's like Nobody's gone there because literally the water is like,
Poopy.
I mean, it is chocolate milk
It might be
all the
it
time.
might be a poop discharge.
It could be. It might just be his boat stuck in there because there's not even a launch.
It might be one of those New Jersey mud puddles, but actually has real fish in it.
Hey, man, like 19-pound bags are good bags. Like
I'm glad he brought that up.
15-pound bags are good bags.
Yes.
12-pound bags are good bags. I mean, you look at it like deer hunting, right? Like everybody talks about 140-inch deer like that. That's like that used to be a 20-pound bag, right? Like, I mean, we've caught in a tournament only one since we started fishing together.
Yep.
1 20-pound bag. We've had a bunch of 17s and 16s, and which are really solid bags. But I mean, 5 3-pounders is a freaking good bag of fish, dude.
And we are so ungrateful anymore because of the internet and because of forward-facing sonar and because of the fish that you sometimes see in tournaments. Man, Jordan Lake and Falls Lake are not good examples of what you think you should be catching.
They're not even very good fishing lakes.
They're not
Fun to fish.
Actually, people give Sharon Harris a lot of crap. And she can be a Karen Harris, but every lake has an attitude. But when you talk about guys consistently catching 25 to 29 pounds on these lakes, that is not normal.
No,
that's normal for them because they know exactly where to go, exactly where to throw, and exactly when to move, right? And how to catch them. But if you caught a 19, almost a 20-pound bag, dude, that's a giant bag. Go back and look at like tournament results from like.
I'll go back and look when we won AOI in 24, and I bet our average bag was
12 pounds,
12 or 13, somewhere right in there.
100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's a good bag of fish.
That's a good bag of fish.
If you give me 13 pounds in every tournament I fish, I'm probably going to be upset because some of them are on Jordan and Harris, and you need way more, or Jordan and Falls, you need way more to win, but you're going to be in the top 20% of the field, 10% on a lot of places.
Yep. With
13 to 15 pounds.
You catch 13 pounds on Bugs Island, you're doing something.
And I got snobby when I first came down here and like, oh man, it's only 3 pounds. Like,
yeah. I mean, a
3-pounder is a good dang fish.
Yeah. We fished, what would we fish? Gaston last weekend in a tournament. We had a little over 12 pounds and we took sixth place out of 37 people. And some of those,
36,
a lot of them,
36 of those boats were local
hammers, dude.
The only one that wasn't was us.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't get that stuff twisted. Brian Latimer put a great video out there.
He did. He
put a great video on YouTube. If you guys don't follow BLAT, go check his stuff out. We actually should get him on the show sometime, but he put a video out there just about how, the 3-pounder is forgotten about anymore. Is that cat pooping in my garage? Better not be.
Big old dookie on your raincoat, probably.
But yeah, man, be proud of what you catch.
Yeah.
You can only catch what you can catch. Don't worry about what other people catch. And, go out there and continue refining your skills and trying to find fish. That's the biggest thing, is finding fish, right? Those guys that have unlocked those smallmouth fisheries and figured out how to catch 4.5 to 5 pounders versus the guy that's catching 4 pounders and 3 3/4 pounders, like those guys are just doing it a little bit better.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you don't know how to fish and you don't know how to catch fish. There's nothing against that. So if you want to get better at it, try to put more time on the water. But at the end of the day, every single one of us in this chat knows how to catch fish, man.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, we're all just out there to have fun, and some guys are trying to make a living at it, and, more power to them. And I hope they do well, like Cole and Seth and Buck and all of our friends at Fishing MPFL and Elite Series and BPT, and the guys fishing BFLs and stuff. Sam Stanley, I think he's down. Flipping Crickets is down at Murray right now for like $50,000 tournament or something. Biggest tournament he's ever fished in his life, man. And, he gave all the glory to God and said, hey man, I'm blessed just to be here. And, whatever shakes out. So, at the end of the day, just go fishing, man. It heals people.
Just go catch 5.
That's right. Go catch 5. All right, guys. You ready to jump off here?
My vehicle tag is 5 keepers.
I like it.
I do. I like it. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. I'm hungry now, so I'm going to stop and get some Mexican food on my way home.
Well, heck, it's almost 8 o'clock anyways.
I know. Almost 8 o'clock. We almost went an hour and a half.
I know.
Appreciate everybody jumping on. Just a quick reminder, 1 November, Take a Warrior Fishing on Sharon Harris. Make sure if you can, as a boater, come sign up to be a boater. Get one of our nation's warriors on the water for a day of therapy, lots of prizes, good food afterwards, good times. Trey and I MC that event. We'll be running around, and we'll have a little something new to reveal.
Should be pretty cool.
Should be something pretty cool we're going to reveal there. So looking forward to that one. And then quick turnaround, Special Operations Bass Anglers, Lake Norman, North Carolina on 7 November. That's the Friday before Veterans Day.
I'm so looking forward to
I'm
that.
pumped for that one. We'll be there the Wednesday before through that Sunday. So we're going to pre-fish a couple days, fish the derb, and then fun fish for a couple days. Dave and Christine Fuchs will be up. Eddie, I forget Ed's last name.
Stringer.
Eddie Stringer will be up or down. I guess they're coming down, not up.
Yep.
From New Jersey. Mike Johns will be up to fish with us. Chelsea and I will be there. Trey will be there.
Your dad will be
My
there.
dad's coming down to fish. So looking forward to that one, hanging out with the Fuchs and all of our friends that we've made through the show, catching some old spotted bass, and hopefully my largemouth dock has one on it, and I won't ding it with a dang pop iron and get it snagged and blow it out this year. But appreciate y'all. Hopefully you're coming down or up or across or over to fish with us. Tater Hog will be there.
Yep.
He's donated some baits to give away. Hopefully I can win one because I want to throw one of those Hog Father Juniors.
I think
around.
you'll be all right.
So yeah, appreciate y'all again. Take a Warrior Fishing is on Sharon Harris, Aaron, out of Holloman Ramp. So if you want to sign up, warriorfishing.org. There's a boater link in there. Sign up. We'll get you paired up with a veteran, and get them on the water and take them out. And it's a multi-species, so you'll have fun. Yeah, there's definitely no fish at Norman, David Fuchs. We're gonna get you a 11-pound bag this year.
Nerman.
Nerman's
Oh,
gonna
Nerman.
be fishing good. I like Nerman better, Jeff.
Yeah.
So appreciate y'all. Glad to have you with us. Great conversation tonight. Thanks for helping us continue to grow a culture of anglers, hoping anglers one cast at a
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.